Welcome class. Today's topic is tenses. There will be 4 videos to complete this topic. Now, when it comes to any sentence structure in English, any basic sentence structure, then the sentence will always be made of subject, verb, and object. These three things will be basic to any subject, any sentence in English. As we know that subject never changes its form with the change of time or with the change of tense, and same goes with object. Like if the subject is Rahul, then Rahul will be Rahul in present also, past also, and future also. Time is changing, but this term Rahul will not change. And when it comes to object, suppose if the object is pen, then this pen is pen in present also, future also, and past also. So what changes on the basis of what thing we decide the time, that is form of this form of verb. These verbs keep on changing with the change in time, and it lets us know whether we are talking about present or past or future. When we talk of the verb forms, there are 3 types of verb forms. First, that is a base form or first form it is called. Second one is called past form or also the second form. Third one is past participle form or the third form of verb. Now, this topic is divided into 3 parts: present tense, past tense, and future tense. A few books deal with past tense first and present tense afterwards. I'm dealing first with the present tense, after that with past tense, and that is also okay. There is no issue with that. There are 4 subdivisions of these tenses as well. We came to know about these 3 tenses, and there are 4 subdivisions to each. First one is simple tense or indefinite tense. Second one is continuous tense, and it is also called as progressive tense. And third one is perfect tense. And fourth one is perfect continuous tense. This video is about simple tenses, or they are also known as indefinite tenses. Means throughout the video we'll be talking about all the 3 simple tenses or all the 3 indefinite tenses. So the first one which is in front of us is simple present tense or present indefinite tense. Before we see the sentence structure, the important thing is here the use. When do we use simple present tense? We use it whenever we are talking about permanent things or universal truth. Universal truth involves the codes and thoughts also. Universal truth involves the codes and thoughts also. It also shows the habit in present, and it is also used for short actions like live commentary, whether it is cricket or any other game. Now comes the sentence structure part. I need your attention here a bit more. Now, as you are informed that any sentence structure is like first of all comes the subject, then verb form, and then comes the object, and this is the structure of a sentence. When it comes to simple tenses or the present simple present tense, here you are watching that something is mentioned here with verbs first form. What is that? This is s or es. First of all, it is written subject, then verb's base form is mentioned, then s or es is added, then object is added. Often it is a matter of confusion that when to use s and when to not use s or es. So just keep in your mind, whenever your subject is singular, then you will be adding s or es, and if your subject is plural, then no ses will be added. Okay, to strengthen this in your mind, think of term singular. Singular starts with S, and you can see the term S here also and here also. If S here, then S or ES will be added, and there is no S here with plural, so no S and no ES will be added here. This will be followed by object. Now we see the assertive sentences, the same thing which I discussed earlier. I discussed that separately because I wanted it to strengthen in your mind the funda of S or ES. Example is given, she writes a letter. Suppose if the subject is plural, the subject is we, that is plural. So what will the sentence become? We write a letter. As I already said, when the subject is plural, no S, no ES. We write a letter. Now comes the negative sentence. So negative sentence structure is first of all subject, then helping verb of the tense, and then verb, and then object. So helping verb for simple present tense is either does not or do not. Same confusion here, when to use does and when to use do. Again we can go with the same thing. If the subject is singular, then S will search for S. So we'll search for S. It is S. So where the S is? Here. There is no S here in does, in don't, and in does there is S. So when the subject is singular, then does. And when the subject is plural, then we'll write don't. So after that will be followed by verbs base form, then object. Why verbs base form? Because already SOES is added here. SOES is added here, so only base form will be written. She does not write a letter. If it is plural, then you do not write a letter. You do not write a letter. Okay, this will be the sentence. We go to the next slide. Then comes interrogative sentences. Again, helping verb, subject, then verb's base form and object followed by question mark. We can see this. Interrogative sentences are often of two types. So one that starts with helping verb, another that starts with question word. Question words are what, where, why, when, these things. So whenever there is question word in the question, then it comes before the helping verb. As this sentence you can see, does she write a letter? If there is a question word, suppose why. So it will be why does she write a letter? Same here, do or does. Same thing goes here as well. If the subject is singular, then we'll use does. And if the subject is plural, then we'll use do. Then comes interrogative negative sentences. These are the kinds of sentences which have both the traits of question also and of negation also. Here also same thing will be followed as it was followed here in interrogative sentences. Only one thing is extra, that is not, and that not is added after the subject. Example here is, does she not write a letter? If there is question word, then this why or the how, like suppose if there is a question word, how. So how does she not write a letter? When does she not write a letter? Why does she not write a letter? Now comes the second simple tense, that is simple past tense. First of all, we will go through its usage. It is used to describe finished actions, or it also states about habits in the past, what habit a person had in past. It also talks about imaginary things in the present or future. I wish I had more time. It is imagination. A person is wishing or imagining. In such situation, simple past tense will be used. Here, as we are watching, the sentence structure here for the first type of sentence, that will be assertive sentence, will be subject plus verb, second form plus object. The motto behind keeping this sentence structure separately is to explain it well, and By keeping it separate, I got more space to draw the lines and explain you. Now, in this type of sentence also, first of all will come subject, then verb, then object. Here you can see the verb has changed. Subject will remain subject, object will remain object, but this verb form has changed. It is verb's base form. Now, just keep in mind firmly that simple past or past indefinite is the only tense, is the unique tense which makes use of verb's second form. Otherwise, there is no other tense which makes use of this. There is only one tense, that is simple past tense, that makes use of second form of verb. There is no other tense to do it. Now comes the assertive sentence. As I explained it earlier, verb second form will be put, and this is the only tense where verb second form is written. She wrote a letter. If the subject is plural, then also the verb form will remain same. They wrote a letter. We wrote a letter. It remains same. No criteria of singular or plural. Same thing with negative sentences also. We have only this option of did not. Whether the subject is plural or the subject is singular, did not will be added with all. But once you have added did not, you will be adding verb's base form in the sentence. Why? Because this did is already the second form of do. Okay, this is second form of do. So when you have already used a second form, there is no need of using a second form again in the sentence. So the example here is she did not write a letter or she didn't write a letter. If the subject is plural, they didn't write a letter. Now we have interrogative sentences. Similarly, first of all, this helping verb is written, then subject, then verb's base form, object followed by question. Here also, as did is already mentioned, so no need of second form here. And if we have any question word, then question word will come at the beginning here, and not as it was added after the subject in simple present, it will be added after subject in simple past as well. And if there is question word, then this question word will be added before helping verb. Example is, did she not write a letter? Why did she not write a letter? Why did they not write a letter? Then comes the last one of simple tenses, that is simple future tense. It is also called as future time reference. Now, uses. It is used to denote an action which has not occurred yet and will occur after saying, or in future, means it will be taking place after the thing is said. Sentence structure here. First of all comes subject, then will and shall, then verb's base form plus object. Verb's base form will be used in simple future tense. Here you are watching will and shall. The question is when to use will and when to use shall. So will be used. First I'll let you know about shall. I and we. With the subjects I and we, shall will be used, and with the rest of them will be used. But whenever I say I shall do it, I shall, whenever I say, it means there are chances that I will do it, or there is probability that I'll do it, but it's not confirmed, it's not sure that I'll do it. If I say I will, it means confirm. It's confirmed that I'm going to do it. Okay. And similarly, if the subjects which reside here in this bracket means which are used by will. So when they are used by will with will, then it means there is probability, and if they are used with shall, then it means confirmation. So as general, if you use will everywhere, then also the sentence grammatically will be correct. As we see the positive affirmative sentences, I explained it already. The example here is she will write a letter. And if I am using a plural verb subject, then they will write a letter. It doesn't matter the subject is plural or singular. It matters just I and we. I and we shall, rest of things will. But if you are using will with all, then also it's correct. When it comes to when we come to negative sentences, then subject will or shall, not plus verbs, base form plus object and full stop. She will not write a letter. I'll not write a letter. This is also correct. Then comes the interrogative sentences. Here the question which is written here, it has started with helping verb. If there is question word, then there will be here. It will be here. The question word will be here. Where will she write a letter? When will she write a letter? How will she write a letter? Then comes interrogative negative. As like previous tenses, not will be added after the subject. There is helping verb first of all, and if there is question word, then it will come at the beginning. Example is, will she not write a letter? How will she not write a letter? Where will she not write a letter? Why will she not write a letter? That was all of simple tenses. Next part will be continuous tenses or progressive tenses. That will be discussed in the next video. Thank you everyone for watching.